Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will talk about the top 10 innovations that revolutionized modern technology. From the wheel 5,500 years ago to the birth control pill, these 10 inventions had huge ramifications and have helped humans shape the world around us. Humans are naturally curious and creative, two traits that have led our species to many scientific and technological breakthroughs. Since our earliest ancestors bashed a rock on the ground to make the first sharp-edged tool, humans have continued to innovate. From the debut of the wheel to the launch of Mars rovers, several of these key advancements stand out as especially revolutionary. Some inventions are thanks to one eureka moment, but most of our pioneering inventions were the work of several innovative thinkers who made incremental improvements over many years. Here, we explore 10 of the most important inventions of all time, along with the science behind the inventions and how they came about. 10. Wheel. Before the invention of the wheel in 3500 BC, humans were severely limited in how much stuff we could transport over land and how far. The wheel itself wasn't the most difficult part of inventing the wheel. When it came time to connect a non-moving platform to that rolling cylinder, things got tricky, according to David Anthony, an emeritus professor of anthropology at Harvard College. 9. Light bulb. The invention of the light bulb transformed our world by removing our dependence on natural light, allowing us to be productive at any time, day or night. Several inventors were instrumental in developing this revolutionary technology throughout the 1800s. Thomas Edison is credited as the primary inventor because he created a completely functional lighting system, including a generator and wiring, as well as a carbon filament bulb like the one above in 1879. As well as initiating the introduction of electricity in homes throughout the Western world, this invention also had a rather unexpected consequence of changing people's sleep patterns. Instead of going to bed at nightfall, having nothing else to do, and sleeping in segments throughout the night separated by periods of wakefulness, we now stay up except for the 7 to 8 hours allotted for sleep, and ideally, we sleep all in one go. 8. Telephone. Several inventors did pioneering work on electronic voice transmission, many of whom later filed intellectual property lawsuits when telephone use exploded, but it was Scottish inventor Alexander Graham Bell who was the first to be awarded a patent for the electric telephone on March 7, 1876. His patent drawing is pictured above. 3 days later, Bell made the first telephone call to his assistant, Thomas Watson, saying, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." According to author A. Edward Evanson in his book, The Telephone Patent Conspiracy of 1876, the Elisha Gray-Alexander Bell controversy and its many players. Bell's inspiration for the telephone was influenced by his family. His father taught speech elocution and specialized in teaching the deaf to speak. His mother, an accomplished musician, lost her hearing in later life, and his wife, Mabel, who he married in 1877, had been deaf since the age of 5, according to Evanson. The invention quickly took off and revolutionized global business and communication. When Bell died on August 2, 1922, all telephone service in the United States and Canada was stopped for 1 minute to honor him. 7. Internet. The internet is a global system of interconnected computer networks that is used by billions of people worldwide. In the 1960s, a team of computer scientists working for the U.S. Defense Department's ARPA, Advanced Research Projects Agency, built a communications network to connect the computers in the agency called ARPANET, the predecessor of the internet. It used a method of data transmission called packet switching, developed by computer scientist and team member Lawrence Roberts, based on prior work of other computer scientists. In 1989, the internet evolved further thanks to the invention of the World Wide Web by computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee while working at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. According to CERN, the basic idea of the 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤 was to merge the evolving technologies of computers, data networks, and hypertext into a powerful and easy-to-use global information system. 6. Airplane. The ability for humans to fly has captured the imagination of inventors for centuries, with the first human-operated flight taking place in 1783 when Joseph Michael and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier took to the skies in a hot air balloon. In 1853, British engineer 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 designed the first glider to successfully take flight, but it wasn't until 1903 that Orville and Wilbur Wright's plane became the first airplane to have a successful voyage. It not only took off from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina using its own power, it flew and landed without destruction, unlike many earlier aircraft inventions. The Wright brothers were inspired by watching birds in flight. The glider took a page from birds' wings but had a 32-foot, 10-meter wingspan. 5. Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy was first discovered in the 1930s by Italian physicist Enrico Fermi, who found that bombarding atoms with neutrons could split them, generating huge amounts of energy. He went on to develop the first nuclear chain reaction at the University of Chicago. This successful experiment led to the development of several nuclear plants in the 1950s, with Idaho launching the first nuclear plant in 1951 with electricity produced from atomic energy at its experimental breeder reactorized site. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤 in the former Soviet Union became the first grid-connected nuclear power plant in the world in 1954, while Shippingport Nuclear Plant, Pennsylvania became the first commercial nuclear plant in 1957. 4. Penicillin. It's one of the most famous discovery stories in history. In 1928, the Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming noticed a bacteria-filled Petri dish in his laboratory with its lid accidentally ajar. The sample had become contaminated with mold, and everywhere the mold was, the bacteria was dead. That antibiotic mold turned out to be the fungus Penicillium, and over the next 2 decades, chemists purified it and developed the drug penicillin, which fights a huge number of bacterial infections in humans without harming the humans themselves. Penicillin was being mass-produced and advertised by 1944. This poster attached to a curbside mailbox advised World War II servicemen to take the drug to rid themselves of venereal disease. 3. Vaccines. The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that approximately 2 million to 3 million lives are saved annually thanks to vaccinations against contagious diseases such as diphtheria, tetanus, and measles. The earliest rudimentary vaccination is thought to date back to the 10th century in China, when people inoculated small scratches in the skin with small doses of smallpox to provide protection against the disease. But in 1796, English physician Edward Jenner discovered that milkmaids rarely caught or died of smallpox because they were previously infected by the cowpox virus, also called vaccinia. So he used cowpox to develop the smallpox vaccine. He inoculated an 8-year-old boy with cowpox and then with smallpox, and the boy never caught the deadly scourge. Jenner's experiment led to the creation of the smallpox vaccine, and his work is regarded as the start of immunology. In 1980, smallpox was declared officially eradicated by WHO. But scientists continue to develop new life-saving vaccines, most notably the coronavirus vaccines that played a large role in combating the pandemic. 2. X-rays. Like many famous inventions, the X-ray was discovered by accident. In 1895, German engineer and physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was undertaking a 2-month study into the potential of radiation. In an experiment testing whether cathode rays could pass through glass, he noticed that the radiation was able to pass through screens of considerable thickness, leaving a shadow of solid objects. He soon discovered that X-rays could pass through human tissues to show a clear picture of the skeleton and organs. A year later, a group of physicians took the earliest X-rays on patients. These observations led to the development of radiology as we know it today and have since helped medical professionals diagnose broken bones, tumors, organ failures, and more. 1. Artificial intelligence. The precursor of modern computing, Alan Turing, is also the father of artificial intelligence. However, the term was not coined until 1956, when the first artificial intelligence program, Logic Theorist, was presented at a historic conference. Today, this technological invention has crept into our lives in the form of chatbots, voice assistants, autonomous vehicles, real-time translators, artificial vision, ChatGPT, the Internet of Things. Machines capable of reasoning will further transform the world of the future with applications and uses that we cannot even imagine today. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.